Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very, 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 very special episode of the Depths of Laughter podcast. Now, we have been on hiatus for a couple weeks. We took a little time off to defrag. Life gets in the way. Shit happens. It is what it is. But we're coming back strong. We're coming back fast. We're coming back hard. That's a lot of innuendos, but we're going to keep going with it because as you notice, there's not two of us. As always, I am joined by Denise, my partner in crime here, but we have a third person down below. And that third person just so happens to be my best friend in the entire world, my sexless soulmate. If he asks, all he's got to do is ask. But, no. What? What's happening? What's going on? Unfortunately, somebody I have not seen in person for almost 20 years. And, ladies and gentlemen, Jacques Valentine is here.
Hello.
And Denise and I couldn't be more excited.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would explode.
Yeah. As it is, I had to talk Denise out of going this past weekend up to see him when we decided to go see him. But next weekend, we are going up there. We are going to go see him. We will probably record a special episode of the podcast, which I'll just play on Monday. But I'll be in chat. Denise can pop in the chat as well. So, we can chat with you guys as you watch us boogie down around his place. Maybe a little bit of a mountain view. We'll figure something out. It'll be nice. But Jacques, welcome.
Thank you.
It has been far too long since I've seen your face, and I love the fact that we mentioned before going live that it might start to get dark soon, and the second we actually go live, the sun's like, oh yeah, by the way, fuck off.
Yeah, bye now.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you're live? Let me dip. So
it's
we
super
might...
fast, dude. It happens in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's
Done.
like
Mountains.
So
Yeah.
we may see some mobile movement, but he is wireless. He is on his laptop, so he'll be able to move around. We'll figure it out. Might even get a little like guest appearance from his mom and his sister, who I love very much as well.
Oh, gosh.
So, it might be accidental, but oh well, I don't care.
It's fine.
So to give some background, if you notice, I have not shut up because I am super excited. But to give some background, Jacques and I met, I want to say it was sophomore year of high school.
I believe that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't freshman year. You weren't there freshman year.
No.
So it was sophomore year. And I remember Jacques was talking with my friend Xavier. And I was coming across the patio. And if you ever need proof that love at first sight is a thing, the moment we met is it. Because I walked up to Jacques. Xavier kind of introduced him. We shook each other's hand, but then I immediately hugged him and wrapped my leg around him.
Yeah, with the leg. Don't forget that part.
Full-on leg embrace hug. And it was in that very instant we became soulmates. And
it
have
was
been
so
since.
beautiful.
Yeah. The heavens, the clouds parted, the sun shone down on top of us, angels' wings and a harmony of choirs. Yeah, it was beyond amazing. Denise, obviously that is not your first experience with Jacques. What is your experience with Jacques?
It would have been the same as it was with you, just watching you guys playing hacky sack in the courtyard, and just we were all wearing Jinkos or like
which are coming
that
back
at the
way.
time, kind of thing. Are
They're
they
coming back? Yeah,
Yes.
Jinkos are starting to make their way back.
Dude, I loved mine. They were like skin tight, and then at the bottom they like flashed out with some bright yellow, and then I wore blue lipstick and like skater shirts. It was awesome.
I had my cow pants, which
Yeah.
I actually I still technically own them.
Oh shit! Yes.
You remember the cow pants?
I
You
still
do?
own them.
That's awesome.
Now,
Hell yes.
I don't think I can get one leg in them now, because they were a 28-inch waist, which I am not by any stretch of the imagination. I think my thigh might be a 20-inch waist now.
We're
but I still
40
have them.
now, so
Yeah. So I'm,
yeah.
36-inch waist, 38-inch waist, depending. Because I'm fat, but it's okay. But yeah,
I
so
think
I
it's
had
just all beard. It's just all beard. That's
yeah,
all.
I had yeah. It is, The hair's getting long too. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yeah. Oh my
Hold
god.
on.
It is. He is like legit growing his
I
hair
can't hear you.
out. I know you can't, but he is like legit growing his hair out. Look at that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow, Vincent's really gotten long. Awesome.
Almost passed for Dave Grohl.
Yeah. But he does sing like, Creep. So are you gonna like wear your beanie while you're singing Creep? Are you gonna wear your beanie while you're singing Creep?
I'm gonna wear my beanie the whole time. So yes. I couldn't hear you guys at all. I'm going to assume it was nothing but praise. So thank you.
Yes, we did say you looked amazing.
I didn't say anything bad.
I'm trying to get down to like shoulder area because I get that thick, wavy Hispanic hair. So I look like Antonio Banderas in Desperado. And I just want to walk around going, "Hello, my name is Antonio. Dance with me."
All right, it's getting dark out here. I got to head inside. I'm sorry.
It is.
Dude, it got dark real quick.
Yeah, it was. We were not playing
Those
around.
Mountains.
We are
not
6 minutes in, and the sun's like, "I'm out."
That's how it was when we lived in Washington. Remember,
Yeah.
Vince? It would be like freaking pitch black at 5:00 at night.
Or like in the summer, it would be bright ass like noon sun at 9:30 at night, and then 9:45, it's so dark you can't see your hand in front of your face.
Yeah.
I think on most weather apps they got it down to the minute here, and it's usually pretty accurate.
Well, I like that though. Like 8:00, it's time to relax. Like, why the sun has no business being out at 8:00.
Now it's 8:00 because we just had a time change with Wimmy. When it was an hour later, it was staying dark till light till 9. It was ridiculous. My kids were so confused.
Apparently, that's no longer a thing. We're like not going to be doing that anymore.
November 2023 will be the end of daylight savings time.
That would be awesome because I kind of remember that shit.
Yes, it was horrible. I still remember it.
I'm getting real tired of changing the clock on my microwave and stove 2 weeks before it turns back because I finally got around to doing it. Like, and I'm like, I just changed it. Yeah, so no, I'm excited that's done. I think that's the one thing that Arizona has done correctly is not have daylight savings time. It's literally the only thing they've done correctly, but I digress.
I don't know how they speak in Arizona. Is that like why the hell are we still doing that? We need to just stop.
Jacques introduce himself and tell, everybody hi and stuff.
Oh. Hi, I'm Jacques. I've known these characters for most of my life, and that's pretty cool. There's not a lot of people you hang on to.
Yeah, that's true.
Not a lot of people worth hanging on to.
That's true too.
That's the key.
So these two are definitely it.
And you. Absolutely.
We made the comparison that when I finally got, because Jacques and I haven't been able to talk, unfortunately, in like almost 13 years. And I haven't seen him in 20 and in person. And I told him, like, the second I got on the phone with him and I heard his laugh, I was like, oh, there's that hole in my soul that's been missing. There it is. So it's a legit thing. Also, it's like it's great that also it's under some of the best circumstances because you've got this wonderful new job, this dream job.
Are you allowed to say?
Amazing.
I mean, I'm sure you can tell them your job.
I can say what I do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do that. Tell everybody what you do.
I just got a job working for Ubisoft San Francisco as an art integrator, which is pretty amazing. Pretty much just my dream come true.
And he gets to work from home.
I get to sit in front of a computer and play with video games all day and get paid to do it.
Awesome.
God.
It's pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing.
Couldn't ask for anything better.
We're so super proud. Ugh.
Oh, stop.
Couldn't be more excited. So, for those like that we have that watch along, the Depths of Laughter podcast is basically a podcast that examines the emotions behind the comedy, the reasons behind the laughter, typically, trauma, depression, anxiety, a lot of the stuff that stems from that. But I believe that it's also one of the things that kind of bonded Jacques and I and has bonded the three of us is that none of us have had it easy. None of us have had it, not to, as
Divulge.
Denise put, not as Denise likes to put it, sing a, crying in my beer song.
Right.
But, it's not like it's been a very easy road for us growing up, and you know, for Jacques and I especially, the reason that Denise could watch us from the outside and be entertained is because we were always on. We have always taken to, well, if we're not happy, at least let's make everybody else happy. And
absolutely,
that led to swing dancing in the middle of the patio.
I still love to swing dance. Shut up.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. It was just you and me swing. Just people thought it was weird that you and I were swing dancing. And I don't think we're going to be able to do that again because, again, I was 120 pounds in high school at my heaviest, and now I'm 200 pounds. So those days may be behind us because I was the baby to his Patrick Swayze in Dirty Dancing.
Yes, but I want to stop you there, like, because I want Jacques to give everybody the description of what you looked like in high school, because it's drastically different than what he looks like right now. Like, you wouldn't believe it's the same person. I feel
not in a passing glance. You have to look. You got to see the face. It's in there. That's pretty much all I see that's the same, though, just the face part.
Behind the beard and all the bags. Yeah, it's in there.
I don't know about the bags. Yeah, I can't tell with the beard. Maybe just the cheeks I could see a little bit.
But also you were like, just really like, I don't know, you say it. Go ahead.
What?
Like, he was like smaller, even
tiny.
Like, yeah.
He was a small dude.
Yeah.
Well, I was 4'11" until the start of my junior year, and then I hit 5'2" in my junior year at some point, and then the start of senior year, I went from 5'2" to 5'8" in 30 days. My mom was not happy about that, having to buy me new clothes every week. 6 inches is a lot, regardless of what anybody says. 6 inches is a lot. Yeah.
Jacques still looks the same. Like, Jacques
that went over her head,
like
Jacques, but you got it, so that's okay.
Exactly the same.
Oh, yeah, you do. It's
great. I got some gray hair. I don't know if you can see it. My beard hair.
Oh gosh,
they're in there.
It's happening to us.
I can't show you on camera, but when I see you this weekend, I have platinum gray hairs in my hair, and I couldn't be more excited.
That's because even your gray hairs are on.
Yeah,
like, you have to.
Because I don't have gray hairs. I have like they're like chrome. It's like I laced chrome into my head. I am so looking.
My hairline went back further. I don't know if you know that. Then you just remember. I don't know. I used to have a big ass forehead in high school. Yeah. I used to have a 5 head. Now I got like a 7 head. I just shave it off. Like, I don't want that.
I mean, if you can rock it, do it. It looks good.
I'll try.
Yeah.
I did not like going into the military, shaving my head. Like, I didn't like shave it, but I buzzed it obviously down to 0 all the way around. Didn't like that look. Not a fan of that look.
It wasn't bad though. I don't think it was. But also, you were just like, they were smoking y'all all the time. Like, you were doing all kinds
Someone
of
explain to me
workouts.
why I got to pay for haircuts in the basic training. I'm just saying.
I like the way it's all smooth and soft. That's what I
Silky
I pick it.
They make you, but like, explain to me why they make you pay for your haircuts in basic training, even though you are required to have one haircut. Like, they go in and they just buzz everything off. You don't get to pick. It isn't like, I'll take that one. I'll take the number 4. No, it's
because there's so many younger kids that are going in there. So
it's
that's
still
like the lesson.
You have to pay for it. I'm like,
yeah, welcome to life, man.
Yeah, it's a lesson.
I remember when I first started working at McDonald's back in the day, when I was like 15, 16 years old. I remember them telling me I had to pay for my uniform.
Yep.
What kind of shit was that? I didn't want it. I was going to leave it when I left anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I worked at McDonald's too, and I'm just going to tell you this really gross story because you will probably totally identify. And I'm not going to say which location it is. Honestly, actually, they tore it down. But they, like, one of my jobs was I had to go back into the back and go through like the boxes of like jelly packets and stuff and look for chewed like rat marks and stuff. And then throw those away. And then like they named the rat and stuff. And I was like, nope, I'm quitting right now. Not doing that anymore. They did. It was
I can beat that. And there's a reason why I don't eat at Waffle House. So somebody I knew's stepdad took a job at Waffle House for all of one day. And it's because he was told to, hey, go go stir and ladle up some of the soup. And they had it in this like gigantic pot, right? They're just making this giant thing of soup, because they have their soup of the day, whatever it is. So he goes and when he grabs a ladle and he starts to turn it, he feels like resistance, and then he gives it a jolt, and a rat runs out of the soup, up the ladle, down. He's like, all right, I'm out. He just walked out the back door and left. He's like, I'm out. I'm done. I don't need pay. I've only been here an hour. I don't need the $3.
Nope.
I go.
No.
So,
no.
I have never eaten at a Waffle House since. Nor will I ever.
I knew there was a reason I didn't like that place.
Yeah.
Can never put my finger on it.
Besides, I'm bougie. I eat at the International House of Pancakes. Okay.
Yeah, yes. IHOP for the win.
Yeah, I'm bougie. So.
They closed Denny's, so.
Oh no, IHOP over Denny's all day. Steak tips and eggs.
Good.
What?
Shut up! Now you're making me want things steak tips and eggs. Oh man,
on Friday.
So good.
No, because that's a whole hour and a half of sitting there.
There's an IHOP right down the street here, man.
Maybe we'll do it over the weekend. We'll get IHOP. We'll take Jacques to IHOP.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Yeah, we'll take Jacques to IHOP.
Yes, but also Bojangles. I'm sorry. I have been looking forward to Bojangles this whole freaking time.
You told me, when you came up to my basic training graduation,
man,
I cannot believe the amount of time you spoke
about
like the
Bojangles. Fifth time I've heard about Bojangles.
Yeah, you have not. Yeah, she had not seen me for 12 weeks, right? For 12
weeks. I just
weeks.
really like food. Like, that's the best part about being
75% of every
food.
Conversation was Bojangles.
Yes.
And I'm like,
yes. Oh my God.
Love you too. Dude. Like, you haven't seen me in 12 weeks.
I'm sorry. Like, they're
She's like, oh, yeah. It's great to see you. Here's a hug. By the way, they're biscuits. Oh my God. So, like,
I feel like I'm doing a commercial for them right now. Like,
see, the problem is what happened there, and this is something that happened.
3%, bitches. Thank you.
Let's bring this back to comedy. This is something that happens in comedy.
Yeah.
There was that movie, Something About Mary. Cameron Diaz, Ben Stiller. We were in high school when that came out, like maybe junior, senior year. And everybody I knew that saw it just told me it was the greatest comedy they've ever seen, greatest comedy they've ever seen, greatest comedy they've ever seen. I finally got to see it. And I'm like, it's not that funny because the expectation was so high. So I went to Bojangles. There's a Bojangles in Ocala. I went to the movies. I'm like, oh, a Bojangles. I've heard nothing but praise from a person I trust with my life. And I went there and I ate there and I'm all like, all right.
Like, see what happens when you jump on the hype train, man?
Said? You literally just said Ocala. I'm sorry. That is not Southern. You have to go to freaking Georgia.
Wait, so let me fix that because my thought was maybe Ocala. You're right. Maybe Ocala's the wrong choice.
Oh yeah.
Maybe Ocala's the wrong choice. But hey, I'm driving to New York City for the New York Comic Con 2019. I'm gonna drive straight through Georgia and Alabama, or Georgia and South and North Carolina. Stopped at a Bojangles in northern Georgia.
Right now.
I was like, it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It just wasn't like, I didn't have to change my pants afterwards, which was what the expectation was. And so, like,
maybe
that's the problem
you
with
just didn't eat your Wheaties that morning. Like, and so you just didn't appreciate
sometimes particular locations are just shit, man.
It's true. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
There's a good Taco Bell and a bad Taco Bell.
Yeah,
that's a lie. You take that filth out of your mouth right now. There's no such thing as a bad Taco Bell, you son of a bitch.
Not because of Taco Bell, because the douchebags that work there.
They're all bad. That's the point. That's why it's so good. No, we will absolutely 1,000% get Bojangles every time, at every stop. If that's all you want to eat the whole way up,
that is.
I don't have a problem with it because the food is. I'm okay with the food.
Totally be fine with that.
And you're locked in. Way to go.
I'll make sure that we put a towel. We'll put a towel in the passenger seat so that you can, you'll be fine. And then I'll just eat my food. Like it just wasn't the experience I expected, and that's something that happens in comedy more than anything else. Because like you can hype up a movie. Like I will hype up Braveheart till the day I die. To me, still the greatest movie ever made. Mm-hmm. Even with all the mistakes in it. Like you can go back and watch it and find mistakes. There's literally a pickup truck in the scene in the background. I don't care. It took me the 100th viewing to even find it, even though I knew it was there. To me, Braveheart, greatest movie of all time. Take the fact that it was, take Mel Gibson's other stuff out of it. Greatest movie of all time. I can tell people about that, and they can watch Braveheart, and they will have an experience there. Because dramatic movies, you're going to have an experience, even if you don't necessarily enjoy it. There's going to be an experience there. So even if you like, even if Braveheart was it was too much for you or whatever, you had an experience. Comedy, on the other hand, is so subjective that what's funny to one is not funny to 10. So
Yeah.
you can have literally a moving experience with comedy. And the best example I can give is something that unfortunately Denise has not got a chance to see yet, so I won't dive into detail. But it's the Bo Burnham's latest special, Inside, on Netflix. It's a transformative stand-up special.
Wow.
But not everybody has that reaction to it, and so that's the thing about comedy.
I mean, I think that's fair about any comedian, though. That is, I mean, not I guess any comedian, but really they're comedians that are well known and they're popular, but still you could bring your best friend and they're not gonna get it.
Yeah.
You guys would get it because you're cool. No,
yeah. But also it depends on like if you're willing to, like, what happened to you that day. Are you going to perceive that based upon what happened to you that day? You would think that you would still be like open to just learning no matter what, but you can't like say that for everybody.
Well, that's
I hope that anybody who would have the audacity to walk into a comedy show would be open to not being offended.
Yeah. But
my God, yeah, that's a very valid point. Yeah.
Okay, so
yes,
we've told this story on the first episode, but we'll go back to it because Jacques wasn't here for that.
Yeah.
We went and saw Chad Daniels a couple weeks ago. Chad Daniels, to me and to Denise, the greatest comedian out there today. He's one of those guys that all comedians know who he is and love him, but he's for some reason never made the huge mainstream. And I think partially it's because he doesn't want to. He likes playing the smaller comedy clubs. He likes just the more intimate settings. So he did a Wednesday show, a 7:30 show, and a 9:30 show. I decided to stick around for the 9:30 show because I have no life and figured why the hell not. Denise was tired. She had to get back home because she had a job. I do not. But at the 7:30 show, we literally, before the show started, we were looking at the crowd going, they're going to get offended. They're going to get offended. And sure enough, he did a joke about the Confederate flag. And half the crowd shut down. So he goes, okay, you want to shut down? Here's 9 more jokes about the Confederate flag. And he went off.
Yes.
But
it was awesome.
On the second show, he did the Confederate flag joke. Everyone laughed. So he moved on. He didn't do it, and I ended up getting a whole other story that Denise never got to hear. That was a hilarious moment, and I felt bad. I'm like, oh, no, but don't get me wrong, all the Confederate flag stuff was very funny too, but I think the story was funnier. So, but that's the thing about comedy.
Hey, sorry, friends. I'll be right back. My dogs are barking.
Oh, okay. Yes, go take care of the pups. It's not that their feet hurt; it's our actual dogs. But yeah, that's the thing about comedy. It was the same night, same town, literally 2 hours apart, and the crowds could not have been more different.
See, and I think that is a total example of, how it doesn't hurt the comedian if you don't want to have an open mind. You don't want to come into it with an open mind. You want to be offended by everything. It's not hurting the comedian, man. You're only hurting yourself because you don't get the good stuff.
Yeah. One of his specials, and I got to remind Denise to find that CD because if not, I got to download it. So we first saw Chad Daniels in Tacoma, Washington in 2013. We became friends with the owners of the Tacoma Comedy Club. They had a military night every Friday night, the late show on Friday nights. So I went up. Denise stayed home because we had Brandon. So I just went up. And he was there, and he performed, and he was so good that I had to buy his album. So I bought the album. Denise and I there's a good chance I tell her to find the CD. It doesn't work because we played it so much. But in part of that, he talks about how one of his jokes is kind of that divisive, where the half the crowd goes, "Meh," and he goes, he's like, "Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Some of you heard the joke. It went in your ear. Your brain said that was funny. You have to make sound with your body, and you clapped your hands. You're what I call clap brains." Now, the other ones, the same joke, in the same way, went through the same ears, and your brain went, meh. Your brain sucks shit. So that was the whole thing. I'm telling the meh brain joke, Denise. About clap brains
that's
and
my
meh brains.
favorite.
Yeah,
Yes,
we actually
I
have
love
the
that
shirt, the
shirt.
clap brain shirt.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, you need to know. Oh, I don't know if there's a CD player in my car. Now that I think about it. Okay, I'll just download it. Never. I was gonna tell you to bring the Chad Daniels "You're the Best" album. I'll just download all his stuff and then we can listen to it.
Beige.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Shock. Beige.
Java, we established this. Depending upon who's
look. I don't know how anybody's gonna take this. Take this how you want. I want to take Jacques to Home Depot and do the paint color palette. Let's see how this works.
Do it. Good luck. I want to see a color that matches dead on.
Yeah. I'm voting on Java.
I'm thinking it's gonna be mocha. I'm thinking it's gonna be mocha.
Mocha. Well, I feel bad for that person. They were trying to sell me Spectrum, and I already have Spectrum. So sorry, guy. Yeah.
Me too.
Yay.
Me too. And I pay for the extra 400.
Brought to you by our friends.
Yeah, as much as I pay you guys, you need to pay me back, especially since this internet doesn't always. I'm paying for the 400 megabytes. It's rare I get the full 400.
I didn't know they were doing that anymore, where they drove up and like the knock on the door thing.
It happens all the time in my neighborhood. I hate it. I have gotten so many knocks for everything under the sun. Like, you know, like, would you like us to put it in one of those walk-in tubs in your house?
Yes, please.
Which I mean, yes, I actually like legit for my mom.
More questions,
like legit for my mom. I want to do that, but it's also super expensive. At least the walk-up people do it.
Expensive.
Yeah.
But money ain't nothing but a thing.
I've gotten the satellite people to walk up. I've gotten, hey, do you need a new roof?
Ain't taking it with you.
I literally just got a roof on the house. I literally have a brand new roof on the house. And I have the sign outside that says, you know, the roof done by blah, blah, blah. And yet I still get people, hey, would you like to get an estimate for a new roof? No.
Oh, they have old news. That's bad. From a marketing standpoint, that's really bad. You need to figure out what's going on with your information.
Regardless,
they're just like knock on every door.
They have to walk past the sign.
You never know. I mean,
they have to
do it that
walk
way.
past the sign.
Yeah.
Some of those jobs are intense, man. You gotta knock on
all
the doors.
I was a door-to-door satellite direct TV salesman for all of 6 months.
Oh geez.
That sucked.
Anyway, Zach, what's your favorite comedian?
Oh, my camera froze again.
The best?
Oof. I like Drew Lynch a lot. I went and saw him a few months ago. He was pretty good.
This is gonna look weird for a minute. My camera froze, so I had to switch. I have to pull it out and plug it back in.
Drew Lynch. Who else?
Dimitri Martin.
Yay!
Yes, we love Dimitri Martin.
We
went and saw him.
Dimitri.
Yes,
we
got to see him live.
He's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Me too. He makes me smile the whole time.
Okay, I always screw her name up. Isla Schlesinger?
Isla Schlesinger, yeah. You know who that is.
She's the
yeah.
Go girl.
The party goblin.
Yeah.
Elder millennial.
So funny. Oh my god.
She just married a hockey player or baseball player. I can't
tennis
remember
player,
which.
some crap.
Oh,
like
maybe
that.
it's a tennis player. Pro athlete.
I think it's a tennis player. I could be wrong. Yeah, some weird stuff. Something. I know something that she describes as being so completely different from herself.
Yeah. It might even be a soccer player. Who knows? There we go. Is it free?
He hits balls.
Why is my camera freezing? Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh,
you messed with it, didn't you?
No.
You didn't pay over.
We're all frozen right now, so you have to give it a second. For some reason, it's Zoom. Zoom updated yesterday, and I'm very upset that it did.
Frozen. She doesn't look frozen.
I'm not frozen.
No, you're on your side. You won't see it. It's on my end. There it goes. But
we're
now I'm
not frozen.
I'm gonna move everywhere.
Frozen. We're not.
Give it a touch all the edges. I got them all.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Just because I could.
It's awesome.
All right, I'm not gonna stick with this camera. It's like shit.
Okay. That for me.
Okay.
Oh, is it Friday yet, y'all? Come on.
See. It's
working now.
I feel the exact way. Yeah, I got it to work now. Yeah. So, like I said earlier, Friday we're gonna head up. We're gonna go see him. Like I said, we'll probably do.
I'm so excited.
I'm gonna bring all my stuff. We'll probably do a podcast some point. We are gonna do karaoke, which I want footage of, because I'm gonna use it against people.
Why not?
Including myself. Including against. Look, out of the three of us, I am hands down, by far, without question, the worst singer of the three. Yet, I will go up there and I will make a show of it.
Let's do it.
You do. Like, he even like does like the whole microphone thing.
Yeah, so
it's
like
pretty funny.
So like one of the songs I sing is "Creep" by Radiohead.
I've heard.
Mainly because it's one note, except for that one high pitched note I gotta hit.
Yeah.
But there's a
but
part.
You do it really well too.
There's that part in the song. Right as it goes into the chorus, there's that dun 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 with the guitar, and like I've got the mic stand half behind me, half in front of me, and I'm just pounding it. See, it's not. It's 70% what you say, 20%.
It's very 70%
true. How you look, 20% what you say, and only 10% how you actually sound.
And confirm and deny.
Yeah, and then it's confirm, deny, confirm, deny. Are you lonely? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. What the hell?
It sounds like a really complicated version of "Fake It Till You Make It." Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So funny story, not comedy related, but art related, so it works. Denise and I had gotten the Journey DVD collector set. It was the best of like CD and DVD. Well, listening to the CD first in the car, we thought that Steve Perry had re-recorded the songs. But then we watched the concert, and it turns out there's a guy named Arnell. I can't remember his last name, but Arnell is from the Philippines. He actually learned English from watching and learning Journey songs growing up.
That's awesome.
And after putting his audition on YouTube, he was picked by the band. He sounds exactly like Steve Perry. However,
better, I think.
He's still learning English.
She went there.
I did, because he just has such a richer voice. I love it.
But and that's part of it coming across, because like if you had never heard of Steve Perry before and you heard a Journey song, an original recording, Steve Perry has one of the greatest voices of all time. But once you you hear about the band, you're just like, wait a minute, But so Arnell, again, he doesn't really like English is still his second language, right? And he learned it through songs. Like he didn't take formal classes, and he learned. I mean, he still he sounds like he speaks good English, because I speak. He
sounds like he speaks good English.
Yeah.
He sounds like North Carolina folk.
When he gets to the song, "The Lights in the City," he starts singing "The Lights in the City," and there's that. There's that line about being lonely.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like, and he goes, and he's like, in what he thought was a brilliant crowd interaction moment, he sings a line about being lonely, and then he goes, "Are you lonely?" And the crowd goes, "Yeah." Oh.
No, I wasn't.
Why did you make me cheer for that?
Maybe I am lonely. Oh no.
Oh no. No.
And that was so early on in the show. Yeah. That was so early on in the show. It was like song 3.
That's all it took.
No, it was a great show. It's a great show. We watched it.
Came here ready to die.
It's like,
how did he know?
It's like, actually, I'd like to talk to you about that if it's okay with you. I really could use somebody to lean on right now.
Oh my god.
It's been so long without human touch.
Oh man.
Oh, I'm gonna have no voice when we leave, Jacques. Seriously. Oh man.
This is the other reason I'm thinking that we should record a podcast while we're up there, and then just play it on Monday, and you and I sit and chat, because I don't think I'll have a voice, and I have to recover by Wednesday, because I'll have another podcast on Wednesday, so I have to recover. As it is, I haven't been playing games like I should have been on my stream lately, but I want to get back to doing that too. But
how are they doing on Kirby? Are they still on the Kirby?
They are still on the Kirby, but that was my nephew.
Aw.
He just got out of the bathtub.
Oh, nice.
Drying his butt comes with sound effects. It goes blah 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 blah.
As one should. It does remind me.
In case you needed to know that.
It does remind me. So
yeah,
going back to comedy again, and I'll bring this up. Another form of comedy is the Jackass style comedy, just the ridiculous, insane comedy of Jackass. Because you can do nothing. Yeah. One of the funniest moments in all of cinematic history came from Jackass 3. When he's doing the you can't roller skate with a buffalo herd.
That's your favorite. Oh my god.
And he does that thing where he does like the lean back and he goes, do it, do it, do it. I will play that over and over again and I will piss myself laughing so hard. But I bring that up and you brought up butt cheeks ever so eloquently because last night at the second night of WrestleMania, Johnny Knoxville actually had a match. And it was
awesome.
It was an anything goes match, and Chris Pontius, aka Party Boy, came out from under the ring, ripped his shirt off, ripped his pants off, had a denim thong on, and was dancing around the ring. And of course, Pat McAfee and all his brilliance was like, I have seen this man's ass cheeks more than any other ass cheeks in my life.
Yes.
And I'm going.
And his dick too. Like he has no shame.
Like, he couldn't say WWE is it's a PG product, so he couldn't say dick, but he did say his man parts. He's like, and I have seen his man parts on a near intimate level, and I'm sitting there going, you know what? He's not wrong.
Nope.
Especially if you watch Jackass 4, which is brilliant. It's it's tame in comparison to the other ones, in all fairness, but still, like, there's a whole lot of man meat in this one.
See, it's a hit or miss for me, man. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I got to be in the mood for some Jackass. Otherwise, it just seems like senseless violence.
Yeah.
It is.
I can't.
It is senseless violence.
Bad in my heart for laughing. I feel so bad, and
I don't feel bad.
They choose to do it. It's their choice. I know, man. I
don't feel bad because they asked for it. They asked for it.
That's why I love watching ridiculousness too. Like but it happens in real life too. Like I cannot help but laugh if I see somebody fall down. I'll be laughing while I'm going to check on you, but I cannot like help but laugh at you.
Don't worry. I'm calling the paramedics.
Okay, look. On that very note, hold on. I have another story. Jacques, so one of the things that you and I did for my 18th birthday was I spent over $1,000 taking you, me, and your friend to Universal Studios and spent the weekend.
Yeah, which was awesome.
Yeah, it was the opening weekend of Islands of Adventure, which was the stupidest time to go.
Still awesome.
But thank God it rained because we ended up riding the Jurassic Park ride 3 times in a row because everybody left a water ride in the rain. And
not to mention dueling dragons like 16 times, but that's another. Anyway.
But I went, so a couple years later, 2 years later, I went to 2 or 3 years later, 2 years. I went to Halloween Horror Nights because it was the first year they were doing it in both parks. And I went with friends from Bob Evans. One of those friends being this girl, Amanda. Now, Amanda is the same girl who went and saw Saw, the first Saw movie, on opening night, told us all about it. The entire restaurant, we took up a whole row in this big multiplex. She had already seen it. None of the rest of us have. One of the characters in the movie is named Amanda, the one that survived. This girl, the second he goes, Amanda, do you want to play a game? Screeches like a banshee and runs out the theater. She has seen it already. Now, that being said, again, she had already gone to Halloween Horror Nights the week before we went. We went. It was my friend Chris. Denise, you know Chris. I understand the head shake. Chris, he helped you move. Rode in the car with Ange when you and I rode in a van together. You were muted, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that.
So Chris with his girlfriend at the time, Kim, and me and Amanda went because my ex-wife didn't want to go, so I went with them. So she proceeds to get inebriated. You know those long tubes of alcohol they sell at theme parks? Yeah. She had 4.
Yeah. How do you have 4 of those things?
I don't know because she was tiny. And so one of the haunted houses was like a hospital. So of course, she's literally like hanging on my back most of the time, whatever. We come out of it, but for some reason she had gotten in front of me, right? But on the outside, on the sidewalk, which is roped off, by the way, it's roped off because they're not allowed to touch you. There's like this like zombie dentist, right? And he just goes, ugh. And she freaks out and starts running, but she runs parallel to the sidewalk. So he runs with her. He's just like running with her.
Oh my God.
He's not even making a noise at this point. He's just running with her. But at Universal, in the sidewalks, they have trees, and the curb sticks out where the roots are. Her drunk ass didn't see that. Blow! And he goes, oh no. And he's like, he completely breaks character. He freaks out. He's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I run up, I sprint up. I'm like, Amanda, are you okay? Because she was so drunk, she was fine. She goes, as soon as she said, yeah, I fall on the ground laughing. I am dying. However,
awesome.
this is not the first time that night that Chris and I almost pissed ourselves laughing. Because what they had done was between the parks and the back lot had built a giant corn maze to separate the parks.
Nice.
In the middle of it was a giant scarecrow stand where the scarecrow would occasionally jump down. Thing is, you could see it and you knew it was coming.
You're still going to get punched. If you do that to me, you're getting punched in the face. I'm sorry.
It's going to happen.
We told the girls.
I feel like it's an expected replay.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a fight, not a flight. So sorry. I don't know what to tell you. You're getting punched.
I will say I have gone to a few haunted houses with Denise, and I've been more scared for the performers than her. But like we told the girls, he's going to jump down. Like we were prepping them the whole time walking up. In fact, I said, look, we'll wait back a minute, let a group go through, and you can see what he does. Because all he does is he jumps down, he chases you for a couple feet, and then he gets back up. Yeah, again, doesn't touch you. But the girls have decided to, like, they're walking in front of us. They have got our arms wrapped like this. We are locked. Like, it is like full-on MMA submission lock. There's no getting free. So we walk up, but we had timed it to where he had just climbed back up. So he knows he has to sit there for a while to get the illusion back up. But for some reason, he decided to jump down again. And you would have thought we were in a Scooby-Doo episode because the girls jumped up and started running. But because they were locked in our arms, they couldn't go anywhere. So they're just running in the air. You just hear that Scooby-Doo sound. So Chris and I...
With the legs not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're just running on air. So Chris and I we're laughing.
Hanna-Barbera.
We're laughing hysterically, awesome. But at the same time, we're screaming in pain because those feet are kicking our shins.
Oh, God.
We're trying to get loose, right? They finally break off, and again, like the Roadrunner going off, they hit the ground at full speed and gone.
Oh my God.
It took us 20 minutes to find them because it took Chris and I 15 minutes to get our breath back from laughing so hard.
So long story short, don't go to Halloween Horror Nights with scaredy cats.
No, go to Halloween Horror Nights with scaredy cats because it is the most fun you will ever have.
Yeah.
Halloween Horror Nights, I need to find people to go with because I want to laugh at people because I've never gotten scared. I can see where things are coming. I see where it's going. I love... we went to that haunted house.
I will go and scream like a little bitch for the both of us.
It won't be me because I'm gonna feel bad when I freaking punch somebody in the face. No, so I'm not gonna go.
We did a haunted house with the boys.
You have to know your limitations.
See, so. it'll work out great. My natural response is human shield. So like I'm but human shield.
I'll be reaching over you and punching them.
Under. You'll probably have to get like.
And I'll be there with my camera. And I'll be there with my camera, just laughing my ass off the whole time. I'll be yelling "World Star" the whole time. But like we went to that haunted house with the boys. That one had like that field. But remember the person they hit that one. They had laid in the grass. There was like that kind of. They dug a hole and put that kind of wobbly walking. So when you walked on it, it felt weird. And that woman just fell straight on her face.
Yeah.
And we were trying so hard not to laugh because she looked like she was hurt, but we were dying.
Oh.
And the worst part was
Trent.
The worst part was Trent goes, I can't. How did she even fall? And then he went and walked on it and wham! Immediately went down. And that was it. We were done.
Trial by fire.
Awesome.
This is why haunted houses are great. Not because of the scare factor or the adrenaline rush. It's watching other people get scared and laughing at them. And this is why comedy is subjective, I guess.
I want to hear more about like Jacques talking about Dimitri Martin. Like what do you like about him the best?
Oh man. Okay. So first of all, is dry humor. I love me some dry humor. The drier, the better. Thank you, George Carlin. So
your mom
is
really good at dry humor. Your
she
mom is really good at dry humor.
I would agree. And I don't know. I feel like I just understand this. Like, I feel like I have almost a similar thought process about some stuff. And when he starts going on about something, I'm like, I can see that. The sleeves, without the sleeves, it is cool, but the sleeves are just crazy. I see why you were thinking about that. We did need to put this on the whiteboard.
Yes.
This is an important thought. He's onto something here. And is it dildos or dildos? Which one is it?
Yeah. Yes.
One of my all-time.
Can you remember like one of your favorite jokes of him, like offhand?
Oh yeah, for sure. So my favorite Dimitri Martin's bit is I'm always confused about the attire for swimming. So I go by confused. Swimming is a confusing sport because sometimes you do it for fun and sometimes you do it to not die. I go by the outfit. Shorts, okay. Clothes, oh no. Naked, we'll see. Should I be swimming faster or am I about to get laid?
Yes.
That's my favorite one. Totally hacked it at the beginning there. My bad.
My favorite one is when he was like, isn't a treehouse just like
that's exactly what I was about to
the
say.
trees holding their dead friends? Like, that's my favorite one.
Yes.
He also has a tree joke that's similar to the swimming one, where he goes, "As kids, we climb trees for fun, but if you see an adult doing it, something's wrong."
Or they drink too many Bud Lights. Watch this.
Yeah, but one of my favorite.
He's a brainstormer. That's what I like about him. He brainstorms. But
my all-time favorite moments, and I think it's from that same special, where he made a joke and he talked about wanting to die, and he goes, "Oh no, too real. I was trying to riff. Maybe I should stick to the script." When he went on, he showed how dark he got. Which, by the way, do you know he's like 8 years older than we are?
Really? No, I didn't.
I always thought he was
probably about our same age.
I always thought he was younger than us.
That's crazy. No, I had no idea.
Yeah.
He just doesn't age either.
No.
So yeah.
That ageless wonder.
Yeah. He's the vampire that we all thought Nicolas Cage was, like, back in the day.
Oh, see, he's had plenty of time to sit around and think about these brainstorming
Yes,
sessions.
No wonder why you're a genius.
Millennia. I've been wondering about swimming.
But think about that too. He kind of falls under the one-liner comic. Because a lot of his stuff it's one-liners. It's very Mitch Hedberg-esque.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about different times to comic, but like whereas like Drew Lynch and Eliza are more the storyteller comic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's interesting to see a different dynamic, and that's one way you know that somebody is more open to comedy is when they mention their top 3 and they're not the same.
Right, yeah.
Like there are people out there who'll give you a top 3 and they're all 3 the exact same style comic. Like somebody will say like Anthony Jeselnik, David Atwell, and Jeffrey Ross. Those are all roast comics. Like, so you know, like they're very niche, which I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it also lets you know that they're not going to get a lot of other humor. You know, the people that have like you know, you can find a good person when you see somebody who's willing to like listen to other stuff when their 3 comics are vastly different.
Now, so like relating actually back to what we were saying before about how you know, like it's kind of like your responsibility as an audience member to like cut your shit and just fucking take it for what it is, right? Yeah. Enjoy yourself, have fun, just trying to be funny. Otherwise, you short yourself. That's one thing I like about Drew Lynch a lot, though, is that he engages with the audience. Like that's part of this thing. Like I've seen shows of his where he will just go through his set and it's kind of like, yeah, okay, that's great. But his best work is when he gets to fuck with the audience. Like that's what you want to see. Mess with them. And he wants to. He wants to. You can tell he wants to.
Well, you know what? There's something to that too, because a couple years ago when I saw Chad Daniels, it was the greatest moment in stand-up history as far as I'm concerned. He did what was supposed to be an hour. He ended up doing 2 hours. And a lot of it was because he just kept going in on the crowd. Like there was this woman sitting front row. She was like 6 foot tall, blonde, Scandinavian looking woman. Well, he's from Minnesota.
Terrifying looking.
Turns out she's from the exact same town he is. And so he went in on her and he kept going after her, but she loved every second of it. There was a fly around the front that kept catching his eye, and then finally somebody caught it, and he thought that was the greatest thing ever, so he went on like a 10-minute rant about that. He talked about downtown Tampa and how bullshit that place is. Like, that was great.
Yeah.
I think that's some of the best times is when you have a comic that can just... Yeah, writing jokes is hard.
Yeah.
And there are some comics that just, they write all their platforms, they do their stuff, but like the comics that can have that kind of improv, ad-lib, quick wit.
Keep it going, man. Keep
Bailey.
it going.
Yeah. Oh, God,
Ben Bailey, when he came here and was talking to us about Tampa and the freaking the
countdown to the walk across and stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, tell that. You're way better at that than I am.
Oh, great. You put me on a spot and I can't even remember the full joke now. Because that was so many years ago.
It's just funny. Like,
what
you know, like
about him?
what do you do? Like
if
it's like a super ass long like thing you have to crash and it counts down and it starts at like 15, you're like, It's like, what do you do? Do you turn back around? Like, what do you do?
There's also that moment when you get to the corner and it's already started the countdown and you have to decide, can I make it across in the time that's left? Do I risk my life or do I wait? And nobody waits, they just go.
Oh.
But I was another thing, like, I love, like, there's a lot of jokes about crossing walks.
I don't do that, just so we're clear.
But
I ain't gonna get killed because I'm jaywalking. That's retarded.
But like Trevor Noah did a whole thing about when he first came to New York from South Africa. Like, he wanted that I'm walking here moment. But nobody ever actually stopped in the crosswalk there. Because it's the one place he met a guy and the crosswalk turned to go for walkers and the guy just went. And Trevor's like looking like, wait, what are you doing? Like, and the guy just went. He said that the conviction of that guy made him follow that guy for 6 blocks. And by the end of that 6 blocks, he too had that same conviction. And the student's like, no, we are going. And he goes, one time this truck was rolling up and it didn't look like it was going to stop. And the guy just put his hand up, never looked at the truck, put his hand up and just kept walking. It's just like the sheer conviction of this man drove me to follow him for 6 blocks.
That's the kind of personal belief I can follow.
But the thing is he gonna start a religion? Because I'm joining, like, stat.
The thing is, and this is something about comedy that a lot of people don't realize, there's so much truth in comedy. Because when I went to New York, everybody is like that. By the end of my first day, I was like that. Just straight up full conviction. As soon as it turned to walk, I was gone. I had like this weird like cartoon double step off the thing, just like walking with the strict confidence. Like I wasn't worried about anybody.
Zero hesitation.
None. And that's the truth of it. But like he goes on to talk about how because the taxis don't actually stop in the crosswalk, he never got to have his he's like, so he tried to like have the moment where the I'm walking here slapping thing, but it stopped and he's like, no, come closer. No, come here. Come here. I'm walking here. Like,
oh my god.
Oh man, you come here. No.
So there's a lot of truth in comedy. And I think that goes.
I definitely agree. There has to be though. Like, and there's again different kinds of comedy. You know, the only truth in Jackass style comedy is that somebody's getting hurt. That's the only truth there is.
Yeah. Yes,
but
absolutely.
in terms of stand-up comedy, I definitely agree that in order to reach a larger audience, there has to be at least some truth in what you're saying. Mm-hmm. You can make up stories and shit all day long, but if it sounds like something completely implausible, there has to be some element of truth in it, right? Even if it was her dress was blue, because that's some shit that you just make up on the fly. It makes it sound real. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love I keep going back to Chad Daniels, but I always will because he's the greatest. in his latest in the Dad Channel special, which is now on YouTube for anybody who wants to see it. He was telling a story about how people are weirdly ungrateful for things. And he talks about like somebody holding the door open for somebody and you don't say thank you, and the person's like, "Welcome," you know. And he talked about how the guy like maybe he held the door open at a grocery store, and the guy was busy trying to remember his list of eggs, flour, and milk. And so he wasn't paying attention. And now the guy yelled at him, "You're welcome." He's like, "Oh, that was probably for me." But then that doesn't leave him. So now he's going to the grocery store and he's like, what do you mean you're welcome? No, you're welcome. What about that? You ever think about that? I didn't need you to hold the door. And then he's like, what do you mean? I'm not. What do you mean? Ah! And he strokes out in the middle of the grocery store. And he never got his eggs, his milk, or his flour, which was the only thing he needed to make his daughter's birthday cake. And the crowd goes, oh. And he goes, you assholes. He goes, the only reason that girl exists in that story, for 2 seconds, mind you, is because I needed something to do with the ingredients of eggs, flour, and milk. But you sons of bitches like, oh, is there a bakery he can stop at? He had a stroke.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And you guys were like laughing at him, but the little girl doesn't get a cake? You shut the hell down. Is there frosting at the house? Like, and that's... So like, even with, again...
I love when he does that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love when he does that. It's like everybody would be like, oh, about a joke. And then he'll say something else. And he's like, okay, you were like not on board with this other joke, but now you're okay with this. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, now who's the asshole?
Yeah. Yes.
But I kind of switching gears, but not really. And I want Denise to kind of tell the story.
That's
Jacques and...
not my strongest suit, but okay, I'll try.
Welcome to a podcast. Talk about, because you were watching from afar, Jacques and I in high school. So talk about the interaction between us, the comedy that we did, something that we entertained people even from afar, even the people that weren't immediately in our vicinity of entertainment. Talk about what it was like seeing us just interact in high school.
I think the most important thing, and I hope that that's something that, you know, generations, you know, younger than us continue to do, and that's just be you. Like, it doesn't really, like Jacques and I were talking about how we never really like fit in a clique, and it didn't matter. Like, we just were our own clique, like by ourselves, and we just, like, everybody else had their circle, but we're like the infinity symbol, bitch. Like, we fit into everybody. So
just like who I like and deal with it.
Yes. So I mean, and I just think that that's really important to say, like, today, that just be yourself and be your authentic person. And you guys definitely did do that. Like, you, and it was that way. So bravo, gents.
Jacques,
Bravo.
Thank you.
Jacques, were you there? Were you there when I broke one of the patio umbrellas by doing a stripper dance?
Yes.
Yes, you were there. Oh my god.
That was good times.
We were telling everybody about that. That's awesome.
So what are the perks of being a smaller person in high school? I used to do like stripper style pole spins because we had these concrete
like
tables with benches, and they had these metal umbrellas in them. So I would spin on those umbrellas. You know, I did it all the time. Apparently one too many times, and snapped one of the metal poles.
Like a good run. I'm talking like running from across the patio and grabbing this pole and swinging around like Spider-Man style, like feet in the air, whole night. It usually worked until that last time.
Well, it actually worked. It worked that time too. I made it all the way around.
That's true. You did. I'll give you that.
The umbrella just is like, all right, you win, and I'm out.
And I'm done.
Needless to say, there was more running after that because we all left. I think that was after school.
I didn't go anywhere.
I think that was after school.
I don't remember one or the other, to be honest with you.
Because I think that
you guys did a lot of karate and stuff after school too. I remember like you guys would like be doing karate moves and stuff.
Xavier and I had created a whole scene out in front of the patio.
Maybe it was just Xavier and you. I don't know if it was but I remember Xavier for sure doing that.
There was Damien and Haywood were the ones that were teaching us. Xavier was there.
We choreographed a pretty intense lightsaber duel. I remember that.
Oh my god, yes.
It was so good. And I'm pretty sure one of our lightsabers broke.
Yep.
Irreparably.
Mine broke.
Yeah, I think you're right. It didn't just break a little bit.
But they were like the cheap ones. They weren't like we didn't buy like you can now literally buy combat ready lightsabers. Like
they weren't force lightsabers or anything. They were
like Walmart
Mattel
lightsabers.
Wow. Ouija boards in Mattel, so I don't know what to say about that, you know.
Yeah,
went
I would.
full bore in that thing.
You can have that. I'm
Yeah,
good
no.
with. I'm good with the Ouija board.
No.
No.
Why? No.
Hard
Wait.
pass.
What? No.
Not allowed in my house ever.
Where's the sage? I don't even want to bring up the word. What the hell?
I know,
are you
right?
doing? What are you
Get
doing?
my Palo Santo wood. Let's burn that. Smudge it out. Smudge it out.
I don't know the rest of the words.
Hold
on, let me go back and pull up an episode of Supernatural.
Oh my God, Ralphie May says he's half Catholic, and he's like.
Just this half.
Northwest quadrant. I'm just the Northwest quadrant.
Love you, Ralphie May. Oh man.
Yes,
I also love that he named his kids August May and April May. That's just so awesome. Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've lost some great ones, unfortunately.
We have not talked about Ralphie May at all.
No, but I mean, it's only our third episode.
Yeah, that's true.
We were going to do one. We talked about the ones we've lost, like,
going into the bank or later.
Like Bob Saget, which I'm still pissed at the Oscars that he was not in the in memoriam.
Oh,
like what kind of?
I didn't know that. I didn't watch it. For real? Huh? Yeah. That's interesting.
And that's the last we're going to mention the Oscars.
Okay.
Because nothing else happened. Nothing.
I don't watch it anyway.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nothing else.
I have no recollection of the events in question.
Yeah,
I don't watch
nothing happened.
Okay, great.
Nothing worth note, anyways.
Moving on.
Yeah, so like, we've lost quite a few. We lost Louis Anderson this year as well. Another great comedian.
I did not know that. Oh my God.
Yeah, he died like a couple days after Bob Saget.
Wow. Wow.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But I mean, I remember, like, obviously to me the greatest loss we've ever had, is Robin Williams. That's one that still hits me to this day. But I remember back when Richard Jennings killed himself. And Richard Jennings, he was in The Mask. He was Jim Carrey's best friend in The Mask. But he's also one of the most prolific stand-up comedians there was. The guy was brilliant. But just like, and this is the concern I've had with Bo Burnham his entire career, and Denise and I've talked about this, if you go back and watch the last couple specials that Richard Jennings has, it's almost not shocking that he killed himself. And this is where the whole point of this podcast comes from, is that there is so much trauma, anxiety, depression, just sadness behind these jokes. These people go out there and make other people laugh, but they're also doing it almost as their own therapy. But sometimes even that's not enough. And in like Richard Jennings' case, but how many times, like if you actually sat down and watched Bo Burnham's, like his Comedy Central special, then Words, What, and then Make Happy, if you just watch them all in order in one day, by the end of it, you're like, I am certain this boy is going to kill himself. I'm certain of it. And then he took 5 years off of comedy and he comes back with this insane special Inside. And you're watching that, you're just like, I don't know if he's any better. He's 30 now. Like you get in the middle of that, you get to celebrate his 30th birthday with him in the middle of the thing. That's interesting.
It's pretty cool.
But like, there's so much trauma behind it. And like, we were talking about Michael Keaton, because Michael Keaton, got his start as stand-up. But he's funny, he's hilarious, he's a great stand-up. But when I was searching for clips of his stand-up, there's an interview with him and Jimmy Fallon. That was only like a year ago, maybe not even that long. And he talked about how much of a terrible stand-up he was. And I'm like, but you weren't. You were great. Like,
it's like, but how do you get to this point if you're terrible though?
Yeah, like you got your jobs with Mr. Mom and what was the other one he did before Multiplicity? Like, but he got his start in these movies thanks to his stand-up. Like, obviously, he is one of the best actors on the planet.
And some of his, I think some of his comedy is pretty funny.
Yeah, he's great. Like, Multiplicity is, she
touched my peppy teeth.
She touched my peppy teeth. Just so good. So it there's this craziness, and this is something that we have all personally dealt with. Like, we all sit here, smiles on our faces. We're all super excited to see each other again. But we go back and, like, how many times did you and I, we spend the whole day either, at school entertaining everybody. We go to your house. We've got your sister damn near peeing herself. We got your mom damn near peeing herself, which is a goal of mine, by the way, to get your mom to pee herself. I've already told her.
Oh, that's not going to take much these days.
Yeah, I already told her. She said the same thing. She said it wouldn't be that hard. But then, like, as they all wind down and they get the thing, and you and I are kind of winding down, like, the deep conversations of shit. Like, it just, like, we both kind of almost, like, trauma dumped on each other. Because nobody else would understand. Like, they saw us as almost like it was like an act. It was like a persona. It was like they saw us as these characters almost. Because it was our own personalities, but just dialed up to 11. Like, we Spinal Tapped that shit. And, like...
No, yeah, for sure. I absolutely think, like you already said, we didn't have a lot of easy times growing up, man. We put up with some tough shit when we were kids and as adults. And I think that a lot of that formation of who we were as adults and how we were going to handle situations that we were presented with had a lot to do with the things that happened to us when we were younger and how we kind of dealt with it between each other. You know what I mean? Like you just said, we've always been each other. You were you, I was me, and that was good enough. And it just works that way. But if it hadn't been for that relationship and, how we do just love to make everybody laugh and be happy and get along, I think a lot of things in life that were a lot harder later down the road would have been much harder without that sort of mentality framework,
Mm-hmm.
Well, as we wrap this whole thing up, already gone over an hour, which is fine, but we're okay.
We're gonna do it again anyway, and we'll talk about a whole bunch of things that come to mind.
But as we wrap this all up, again, that's always been the basis of this podcast, is to give a unique perspective on comedy and show the truth behind it all. But another thing that helps, and what helps is the fact that I have my best friend Denise as my co-host. Jacques, whenever he wants to come on, can come on. Having that close circle of friends, having that, it's not quantity, it's quality.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
Like, I trust both of these people on screen with not only my life, but everything that comes along with it. And I think that's the biggest part.
I love you, brother.
And I love you too. So we're going to have a lot of fun. Denise and I we love road trips. So we're looking forward. We're going to have a fun road trip. We're going to have even more fun all next weekend. Like I said, we'll record a podcast. We'll have it up on Monday, because I don't think either one of us will have a voice by Monday.
I don't think so.
My voice is already a little harsh just from this episode. So this weekend's gonna be fun.
Oh yes.
So we're gonna have a great time. Thank you everybody who hung out and stuck around. Next time, if you're here, drop in the comments your thoughts on things. Let us know what you think. Please hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Hit the follow button here on Twitch. If you could hit the subscribe button, that money helps us out and helps us grow as a channel. You can always use the Amazon Prime subscribe, make Jeffrey Bezos pay for it. By the way, the Jeffrey Bezos thing will make even more sense once the both of you watch the Inside by Bo Burnham, because he has a whole song about Jeffrey Bezos. So you guys have homework at some point. Once again, thank you everybody. We'll be back next Monday. It'll be a pre-taped episode, but at least hopefully Denise will also be able to make it in the chat room, so you can chat along with us as we watch the episode that we're going to record this weekend. And then after that, who knows? We're going to see what all we can do. I've got I don't want to spoil anything, but I have dropped some leads about some possible comics coming on. Nothing concrete yet, but hopefully some things happening. So
Jim Carrey, please, thank you.
That is the ultimate goal. That is the ultimate goal.
For me, anyway. Freaking love that man.
That wouldn't be the final episode, but it would probably be the ultimate one. So, again,
Jim Carrey.
Thank you everybody so much. Jacques, I love you so much.
Love you,
so
Jacques.
happy to see you again.
I love you both so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and we will see you guys next week.